Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the lab. This is their part number LSMOV25. I'm not sure what LSMOV stands for. This is a vial. Well, V is going to stand for vial. This is a 25 pack of Shims, cylinder Shims. This is a dandy little tool, that's for sure. I think a pack of 25 is a pretty long supply, depending on how many people are using the shims and how they're being used. And here's, let's take some dimensional properties and we'll talk about, et cetera, et cetera. So the overall length of the shim, 1.45 inch. 1.45 inch. It has obviously a curve or a radius to it. I don't think it's really going to matter if you are shimming, a 509, a Corbin Russwin .509 plug, or a Schlage effective plug diameter of 0.5, a .552, a .395. I don't think that's really going to matter. Obviously we shim mostly cylinders that have an effective plug diameter of 0.5. I've not shimmed anything thicker with it, so I don't know if flattening it is a problem, but there's such small margin between the plug and the shell that it shouldn't cause a problem. And that's because this thickness, put my caliper on it, the thickness is 0.002. 0.002. So obviously very, very thin. And how you use this sort of tool is that I have another video on how to shim a cylinder that you can search out, but this is used to slide in. It's a tool that you can use in different areas where you need a shim to block something off. But generally, when you have a cylinder in your hand and you don't have an operating key, but you have a key blank, you can insert this from the back side of the cylinder, and as you insert the key blank, the front angled edge lifts the pin up and down as you move the key blank in and out. As you do that, you're trying to put a little bit of pressure to get that to sneak in between the master pin and the bottom pin, or the top or driver pin and the bottom pin, whatever it is, so that you can continue doing that down all of the chambers, starting from the back of the cylinder towards the face of the cylinder, creating a shear line so that you can then turn the cylinder to the proper orientation, plug follower, and it all comes out and you're in good shape. And that's what the shim is used for. Now, a pack of 25, for me, that would be a several year supply. I don't do a lot of cylinder shimming, number one. When I do, and I've been doing it for a long time, I'm very careful to put only as much pressure on there as my experience has taught me the shim will handle before it will kink. If you take, I'm putting pressure on this right now. I'm pinching it down. But I know when to stop. You go further, it's going to kink. And then what will happen, it will fold, and then it will kink. And the kink is what the problem is, because you can't really get that straight. So you'll put that and feed that without kinking it. And also, with how aggressive it's being pushed in, you can turn the lip up of the shim because you're pushing it too hard against a pin tumbler that is not, you don't have a shear line, so it will curve that. What you'll do in that case is take your scissors and just cut it ever so slightly and give yourself a very clean edge, and you'll be able to continue to get useful service out of it. I know that there are shim holders, and Lab may make them, but just a deft, delicate, light hand can give you a pack of 25 years of supply. Let's take a look at the catalog and see what other goodies Lab has for cylinder servicing. So in the manufacturer's, on the page that we're looking at, we'll have a link to the manufacturer's page, and then we can pull up the product catalog, and then from there we can search for the part number with a Control F, and I don't see that part number coming up at all. So let's search for shim. Oh, indeed, we found it. Yeah, no, we found it. LMS. Okay, so the problem is it's not an O. It's an O as in Oscar, it's an O, it's a 0 is what that part number actually is. So now that we're looking at the page where the material is located at, 0.0015 is what they say that it is, and it's made of stainless steel. Okay, 25 pack and a 100 pack. And that's it right there. And that's on page 9 of at least this current catalog. And as you scroll through the catalog, what you're going to notice is that Lab manufactures pins for combinating locks. And it turns out that Lab is, I believe, I understand that Lab is the primary point of manufacturing of pins, not only for their branded pin kits, their Emerald Wedge, their Classic Pro LPK003 kit, of which I've owned several and many over the years. And for themselves, but I understand that they manufacture pins for major manufacturers. And there are instances when a major manufacturer owns the machinery but has sent the machine to Lab to conduct the manufacturing of the pins to the specifications for the particular manufacturer's or to the particular manufacturer's requirements. So this Lab company is going to be known as Pins and Springs and Pin Kits of all different types, all different systems. Okay, it's a great scroll through catalog. If you're looking for a pin kit and the supplies to go into it, that's what Lab does. They have picking tools, plug followers as well. They do not make a plug for a .552 Corbin Russwin. That you would get direct from them. Okay. Your Schlage, your 0.5 diameter, that effective plug diameter. Oh, forgive me, they do have a Corbin. It's a .550 is what it would be. 0.550. This cap cylinder removal tool, if you do a lot of Schlage or threaded cap product, it's worth its weight in gold, even though it costs about as much as gold per ounce. What you want to be sure is to never drop it. If you dent these teeth, the tool will no longer work properly. So don't let it fall off and hit the floor. Obviously, formed end tweezers. You know, and locksmithing tools are always very particular to the individual. Some people use tweezers, some people don't. Some people have to because their fingers are the size of breakfast sausage, and it's not going to work. But they have other tools that will help you in the process of what you're doing. For instance, this block that they have here, this block is going to allow you to eject pins, and do so with your ejector pin, and do so in such a way that you will capture all of the pins in this magazine down below, so that you can then decode what the key bidding was for whatever it was, or at least get access to the pins where you can help decode them. Okay, Medico Pin Decoder. If you do any Medico, you're probably already well familiar with this tool. I've been told that I don't pin Medico. I understand how to do it. I don't have a client base that requires I do it, but I understand that this tool works and that people who use it like it. Key gauges are here, okay, where you can decode the cuts on a key. A woodblock pinning tray. I've never used a pinning tray for 30 years, and for 30 years I've been wrong. I'm going to be getting myself a pinning tray. Pins, when you put them on your desk, seem to roll off and get lost. So that's a trip through the catalog, showing you the other products. Let's wrap up this video. Now, this client purchased 4 25 packs, and when I look at the cost of a 25 to a 100 pack, there is certainly a price advantage to buying a pack of 100. However, there might be 4 people that are each going to get their own kind of scenario. So 25s are 100, and then again, that link to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up that product catalog is a very handy reference to have. I'm partial to Lab not only because I am invested in their products, whether it be small format. I have a couple of small format kits. I have that Emerald Wedge, that Universal 3000s kit. But it's because the product is utterly repeatable in terms of their manufacturing. Never any variance with the product line. And is, for many, a great alternative when it comes to purchasing lab or purchasing original equipment. The time that you wouldn't use lab is when they don't make what you need, in my experience. If you need spool pins for master ring Corbin Russwin that are 320 thousandths long, I don't think lab has those. So you wouldn't use those. You wouldn't be able to buy that from lab, but in lots of instances you would. Now, a downside of the lab, of some of what lab does, and lab has a system where they color code the pins. That's really great because you take one out and you know that it was a Schlage 5-ish, close to 5. You can then rely on the color to put it back where it belongs, or you could measure it. The downside of the color-coded pins is someone with some knowledge could look inside that cylinder plug. Oh, that's purple. Oh, that's green. Okay, and if you have some knowledge, you might be able to decode that. If you can take one little look at the key and you can sight read the key within 3 seconds, and then you look inside the cylinder to the right individual, that is information that you may not want to telegraph. But lab can, of course, oblige you with non-color coded pins as well. Any questions on the lab LMS0V25, pack of 25 shims, or any other lab product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.